Good evening, everyone. My name is Trevor Martin, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight on another episode of Way of the Warrior. My name, obviously, I just said it, is Trevor Martin, and I'm the founder and CEO of RMF Coaching. I'm a leadership coach to CEOs, entrepreneurs, and executives, and I love connecting with people that have a mission of putting good out into this world, right? Promoting the positive and working with other individuals to make it a better place. So tonight I have with me another warrior. Her name is Jacqueline Griffith. And Jacqueline, if you could tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it. And so about me, I'm a social worker, a trained social worker, and I always wanted to do therapy, though. I wanted to be a therapist first and foremost. So after quite a few years of experience, I was able to start doing mental health therapy.
Nice.
And I've been doing that for about 5 years. But recently, I decided that I wanted to reach more people
Yeah.
and I wanted to specialize in something. And relationship coaching, just it was just one day actually. I was doing a counseling session and I realized that, wow, this is really what lights me up. Like I love this. I love talking about relationships. I love helping people through it. And so I've recently pivoted into relationship coaching. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I appreciate the insight into a little bit about what you're doing and what you're working on. I'm going to ask something real quick here on the intro. What do you find feeds you the most through that relationship coaching? Like what do you pull from it, right? You're giving a lot and you're helping others. What feeds you? What comes full circle?
So with the relationship coaching, so I think what I really feeds me, what makes me feel enlightened, satisfied with this work is just seeing people improve. It's seeing people get better. It's seeing people thrive in their relationships. Because the bottom line is that relationships are so key in our lives. Like if we
Mm,
have a good relationship with our partners, it helps our children grow up in a healthy environment, and then they go on to also have healthy families. Um, if we're feeling good and we're doing well in our relationships too, then that usually helps us in our work, the work that
yeah.
we do. It helps us with other relationships. So our primary romantic relationship in our life has this power to really help us in every aspect of life. So to see people, to guide them and to help them through that, I think is very meaningful because it can have such a transforming aspect to it. So, yeah.
Wow. I absolutely, I got to tell you, I'm thinking as you're talking, right, as you're talking about I'm going to call it, well, the ripple effect, right? That's what's going on in my head. One of these, one little drop, right? It
Hmm.
spreads. So if this relationship is solid, if this is going well, other things as it goes out, those are also solid. Those are, places of joy that you're going to experience all the way around. And
Absolutely.
I absolutely agree. It's quite simple, right? In my relationship, right? In my relationship, if the mind, or sorry, if it's going well, my mindset for the rest of the day, spot on, right? If it continues to go well, I'm good because that's good. That's solid. Now, if that goes a little cattywampus, the rest of the day, better bet your ass it's going to be on tilt. Absolutely. Until
Hmm.
that gets right. I I love
Hmm.
it. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
So as we go through, this way of the warrior, this session, there's three questions, Jacqueline, that I want to ask you. So if you're ready for number one, I'd like to hit you with
Hmm.
it. Okay.
Sure.
So as a leader, right? As a leader, when faced with opposition, what keeps you in a positive mindset? So as a leader, when you're faced with that opposition that's coming at you, what keeps you in a positive mindset?
Hmm. Yeah. So, like in my work, it might be a little bit unique in that I don't have a team that I'm working with.
Sure.
I'm a solopreneur, so my team or the people that I work with are my clients, and so opposition when it comes to them usually comes in the form of them resisting something that we're talking about, or it comes with them saying, well, like I don't really think that's going to work,
Mm,
or it comes in the form of them not really maybe improving in the way that we both like agree that maybe they should by now, right? Or
right.
I put in quotes should, but there's certain expectations people have when they go to therapy, that there's going to be a certain amount of improvement, or when they go to coaching that there's going to be some good things that come. And so when there's like this, maybe this plateau where people aren't really improving, or they're resisting something, then I have to really get out of my own head and stop thinking it's about me, or
Oh,
that, or my lack of competence as a therapist. It's not about me. There's just so many factors at play. And so in order to stay positive, I have to think about, this is their journey. If maybe they're not putting in the work, or maybe there's something that's just not quite clicking for them yet, so we have to think about it in a different way. We
mm,
have to kind of come at it from a different point of view. So it's just trying to look at what might work instead of what we have been doing. So like, let's put this all aside and like, let's just try to look at something else. Maybe there's something we haven't been digging into that we really need to. And um and then just kind of, yeah, just taking it away from myself. It doesn't have to, it's not about me. This is about them. And so yeah, I guess that's really the way I have to kind of look at it. Yeah.
yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It's all too often when we get in those conversations, especially the deep ones, right? We can become extremely opinionated, guilty as charged, right? And pretty soon we start to project. We're sort of like, you know what I think you should do, you should actually do what I have, and I have the foolproof plan that you need, and you're not getting it, and I don't understand why you're not picking it up, and you because you should be, and now we're stagnant and we're staying right here when we should be over here, and I'm getting tired of waiting, and pretty soon we get frustrated, we get irritated, and then we realize, oh, wait a minute, yeah, this isn't about me as a coach, as a therapist, as a counselor. It's not about us. It's about, to your point, it's about the other person. But
Hmm.
we can become all consumed, to your point again, all consumed in the conversation. And then we have to take that step back and go, oh, yeah, this is about them. Okay. I'm going to pull myself out of that, right? Get back to that positive mindset. And when we do that, it's amazing at the different battle plans that start to form in front of us, right? We're able
Hmm.
to go, okay, now I'm taking myself out of the situation because I went in too deep. I didn't even need to be there. It's not even about me. Pull it back, look down. Hey, we got some different battle plans. We got other process and procedures that we can possibly use to execute and move forward. So, yeah, phenomenal. Love it. Thank you very much for that first question. Are you ready for number two?
I am.
Okay. So, number two is, how easy, this is probably, okay, I'm going to be honest. This is one of my favorite questions, and it's really hard for like me to answer. So, I hope that I never do an interview where somebody asks me this question. Okay. So, how, how easy is it for you to ask others for help, and why? You
Okay.
you could scale it if you want. Like, one, it's like not easy at all. 10, it's way easy for me to ask. Or you can just say, you know what? I'll shut up. You go.
All right. So Yeah, I think there's always been times in my life where I've found it hard to ask for help because
Preach.
A, I don't want to look stupid, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about yet, like, or you don't know what you're doing. Come on, right?
Right on.
And so there's that playing out in your mind or in my mind in the past. Um, I think if I'm to fast forward it to current day, really I ask for help with clients where when I'm stuck, I'll ask another therapist, I'll reach out to
Yeah.
somebody like a mentor, somebody that I know has years of experience and can help me. Because at the end of the day, that's going to help my clients. If I get a resource or have someone give me a different perspective, or they, just send me in a direction that, I hadn't thought about before. So there's that. And then another way I like to get help is there's lots of training that you can access online for different types of, issues, whether it be trauma or depression or anxiety or like relationship stuff. Like there's all kinds of places that you can go. You can buy it, you can get it for free. Like, so I use those resources and I do my research and I dig into it and I try and figure things out. So I will ask other people and I'll look up stuff on my own. Either way, I think it's important for me to realize that that I can't know everything. Like it's just not possible. Like I can't know everything. And if I thought that I did, then I think that would be a problem, especially in the work that I do, because I don't think you could ever possibly know everything there is to know about this work. It's complicated. So I think, and then the other thing, and it's something that I've came across recently, is that asking for help is actually a form of self-love. So it's, because it's like I matter enough, I'm worthy of getting help. And so hearing that for me really clicked too, because I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. That makes sense, right? Instead of struggling along and thinking I don't deserve help, or, you know, um, I should know this. It's like, no, I don't know this. And instead of struggling, I'm gonna ask for help because I'm worth it. Right?
Yeah. You ever have one of those moments where you're just kind of like not, I'm gonna say not mind blown, but like something just like someone just goes funk like right here. Yeah,
An aha moment.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, people are gonna watch this and go, Trevor, it's an aha moment, and I just took all that roundabout explaining like, wow, yes, thank you. No, so just kind of experienced that because when we talk about the ease or difficulty of asking for help. I hate it. And Jacqueline, it's you're talking about self love, and um, um, something I'm not good at, right? I'm not like I'm not. I'm kind of going off on a rabbit trail for a second, but I'm not good at that. So asking for help, if this all makes sense, because I hate asking for help. I don't want to ask for help. I've been raised, I've been taught, listen, you want something done, you don't want to be bullied, fix yourself. The bullies aren't the problem, you're the problem. So you fix you, get that right. Then build on it to where you don't need help because you're self-made. You're tough. You're strong. Nobody's going to mess with you. You can figure out all of your own problems on yourself because you're Trevor Martin. And that is exactly, now, don't get me wrong, there's some work going on here, but
Mm-hmm.
that for the most part, that's what comes to the surface. Man, I should ask for help. Nope. I'll figure it out on my own. Lack
Mm-hmm.
of self, to your point, lack of self-love. Like I don't need all of that. Right. We'll just keep moving
Mm-hmm.
forward. We'll be fine. We don't have to talk about it, right. So I really, man, yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Genius. Genius. Okay. Anything else on the question number 2 on asking help?
I don't think so. I definitely recognize that struggle, that,
Yeah.
especially if you've been raised a certain way. So I get it. So we all come from different backgrounds and come at things from a different perspective, depending on, the lessons we've learned and how we've been raised. So it makes sense that that was something that you were taught, and it's hard to reprogram yourself, recondition yourself.
Oh, for sure.
And yet we do, it takes work, but we can if we want to in certain areas. So
We can. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm working. I don't, it's, huh. Sometimes I'll be real. It's hard to talk about. I'm not, I mean, it is, especially like, um, especially the deeper stuff, right? So I'm working on they call it shadow work, and and meditating and things like that. And, uh, man, sometimes I just struggle. I struggle with it. There's so much there's so much here inside, and it's that stuff that stuff's hard, and then
Hmm.
kind of going to talk about, and then kind of going back to the whole self-love thing. That's difficult for me, and just I got
Hmm.
on you just got to unpack it one piece at a time. Take it slow, right?
Exactly.
Right on,
Exactly.
right on.
Yeah.
Okay, now question number 3, and it's the final question. And I love this one. Okay.
Hmm.
If you could go back and tell yourself one solid piece of advice, what would it be? So if you could go back in time and tell yourself one solid piece of advice, what would it be?
I think it would be stay the course. The challenging positions that I was in my career, um, they taught me so much. They helped me to grow a lot, but they also were really hard. And there were years, like literally years of wondering, like when am I going to love what I do? Like, am I ever going to get there? Like, is this possible? Like, and I would have these dreams, these daydreams about working in jobs that were completely different than what I was doing. And I just knew I was like, I can't do this, what I'm doing. I can't do this forever. Um, so it's, but at the same time, I did have to put in that hard work. I did have to stay committed to some of these roles because it was the learning that I got from what I was doing that allowed me to get to where I am. So my advice would be, you do have to dig deep and do some of the hard stuff. You're not just going to land that job, or if you're an entrepreneur, you might not, it might be years before you love what you're doing. And because it takes time, it's not going to be overnight, and you have to do the hard stuff sometimes. And so I think I kind of knew that, and that's why I was able to keep going. But I think it would be just confirming that to myself, like, you're going to get there. You're going to get to do what you want and what fulfills you the most and what you love. You're going to get there. But you got to put in the time right now, and it will be worth it, and it's going to happen. So that, I think, would be my advice. And just, you know what, Trevor, though, I think the other piece of advice, if I can give myself two, it would be like, you know, get some confidence, because I think part of why I struggled in some of my past roles was because I was so shy, and I really struggled with um like being authentic. Like, I was so afraid of offending people or saying the wrong thing, or people discovering I wasn't that smart or something. Like there were just so many self-limiting beliefs that I had, and I wish that I'd kind of start working on that stuff a little sooner in my life. So that would be the other piece of advice I think I give myself. Yeah.
I love both of those, and I'm I'm fond of saying that, true growth, comes through those growing pains, come in the fires of refinement, right? If you think about, we're continuously working, we're continuously moving forward, continuously growing, and it's getting uncomfortable, right? It's living in the discomfort and moving forward because it's the success is not happening right now. To your point, entrepreneurs, people that are going on a new journey, you're experiencing that with yourself with kind of branching off and doing some coaching as well. It's not going to happen overnight, but what separates you from everybody else, what makes you a warrior, is that you're willing to step up, that you're willing to go through those growing pains, right? The fires of refinement, to get to the other side. And when you get to the other side, oh, how glorious it will be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
I and to your and so for those of you listening tonight that are like, man, I'm like kind of up against it and I don't know if I'm going to really continue. I hope you take Jacqueline's advice and you listen to what she's saying, you dig deep and go, you know what? This ain't over. I understand it doesn't happen. Success doesn't happen overnight, and I need to keep working. And then Jacqueline, to your second thing, the whole confidence, I'm right there with you. I absolutely am. And that would probably be one of the things that I would go tell my younger self is, listen, you scrawny thing, get your confidence up, right? Get your confidence up. You're going to be just fine. You are okay being who you are. You don't have to try to emulate or be other people. It's okay to have an Adam's apple bigger than your nose. You're going to be fine. But it's so hard. I'm true. It was bad. Like seriously, it was like out here. But that's so important. It's so important for people to realize that it's okay to be who you are. Embrace it, live in it, because there's nobody else like you. None.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Preach.
phenomenal. Jacqueline, I got to tell you, first of all, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And the final question is just simply, how can people get a hold of you? Like, what social media platforms are you on? If people are interested, which I know they're going to be, how can they get a hold of you?
So I am on LinkedIn, and so my new coaching is called Shine Dating and Relationship Coaching. And actually, I will say that the shine comes from a lot of supportive people on LinkedIn telling me to keep shining. So I
I
have
love
never
it.
mentioned that to LinkedIn, so I just wanted to say that that's where that came from. And so yeah, you can reach me on LinkedIn. That's the only social media platform I'm currently on. That may change, but I have it open so that people can send me a DM there, direct message, comment on. I generally post content every day, so
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, audience, you heard it here first, right? About the shines. That's pretty cool. So I encourage you to reach out to Jacqueline. I encourage you to drop her a message. I encourage you to connect, because let me tell you, she's a one-of-a-kind warrior. For those of you here tonight, I really, really appreciate you stopping by and watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, because there will be additional warriors featured on Way of the Warrior. So, Jacqueline, once again, thank you very, very much for being here. Everybody,
Thank you.
have a good night.